Milpa is like money, like a gambling game. If you plant it, you have to depend on the rain. If you plant a lot, you lose a lot of money. You plant, but you plant thinking how much money you can afford to lose, and also thinking about what people will say if you do not plant. Famine has never been a stranger to agricultural peoples.
Pues nente que te wango yo me tiwice de necha pingo y para tiwice te toca de un pues ni italiana abono después ni megua ni tatuía después italiana abono después te tamachiwas ni can en Huescapa noche ni jonti chiwa ni patik que culoteos te en amaish llevan ni jonti chiwa ante Juan Juan en ciudadanos tiwice de México te toques en prácticas ni can tato.
Cuando ya salen las calabazas, los miden, los pesan, les aprueban, ahora sí cuáles son las más dulces, cuáles son las más desabridas, bueno, las semillas también los miden, los pesan, todo, bueno, muchas cosas les hacen. También, pues, de que les echamos así a bonito criollo, pues se nos dan grandes, pero más desabridos, ahora sí más desabridos. Y ahorita, pues, ya los seleccionaron los señores, pues, ya un poquito más dulces y ahora sí carnuditas.
Mexico is a cradle of origin and diversity of numerous crops, notably maize, beans, and squashes. Wild and cultivated counterparts still can be found growing close together. Also, the Mexican farming population is culturally and economically diverse. Among production systems found in Mexico, the Milpa system is the oldest and most biologically diverse. In a milpa, maize is a cornerstone crop where beans, squash, and semi-domesticated species used as green vegetables are grown intermingled in the same fields, providing the subsistence base for much of the country's rural population. Hence, the Milpa project has addressed the in situ or on-farm conservation of land races and ways in which these land races can be improved by developing methods for use on farms by farmers to improve their crops and consequently enhance the incentives to keep their traditional land races for the indefinite future.
Pues nosotros sembramos de 3 clases. Ahora sí, pues blanco tiene más salida para vender. Y ahora sí el amarillo, pues como que no, o sí, pero tiene más menos precio. Y el azul, pues también como el amarillo, como que no tiene mucha salida. Y así es para nosotros, para nuestro gasto.
On the other hand, the Milpa system is under tremendous pressure to meet rapidly growing food needs and changing social and economic conditions, including the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, rural migration, and low-cost food imports. One effect of these changes is the reduction of the biological diversity of Mexican agriculture, thereby causing the loss of genetic resources of crops domesticated here and perhaps extinguishing what has been called the maize culture. The Milpa project personnel and local farmers of 2 contrasting regions, Chalco, near Mexico City, and the Sierra Norte de Puebla in the state of Puebla have conducted for the past 5 years collaborative efforts toward the conservation of local genetic resources of these important plants. This project intends directing experimentation for the development of methods for on-farm genetic improvement, making the crops economically more viable enterprises and thus providing incentives for conservation by the farmers. The Sierra Norte de Puebla, being part of two important regions in Mexico, the Sierra Madre Oriental and the Trans-Mexican Volcanic Belt, is located in the northern part of the state of Puebla. Over an altitudinal range of 200 to 2,000 meters, tropical communities occur in the lowlands, and at higher elevations the mountains are covered with warm to temperate mixed deciduous forests, or with oak or pine forests, in soils predominantly volcanic in origin. Logged-over areas are commonly seen in the region, where dense stands of secondary succession communities are developed. Living within the Sierra Norte de Puebla are the mestizos, people of national cultural identity, and 4 ethnic groups, the Nahuas, the Otomís, the Tepehuas, and the Totonacos. Their principal economic activities are agriculture and open-range cattle raising. Their principal crops are maize, beans, and coffee. Minor crops include chili peppers, potatoes, broad beans, sugarcane, peanuts, tomatoes, husk tomatoes, vanilla, mamey, cocoa, citrus trees, and other tropical fruits, as well as avocado, plums, and apples. It is a region of great biological and cultural diversity, where the processes of selection and domestication of plants are ongoing and dynamic, and where a wide traditional knowledge of useful flora still exists. The use of plants is extensive, with more than 600 species of useful plants. About a third of the edible species are quelites, or edible greens, totaling 80 species, of which 15 are exotic. The quelites can be consumed raw, although they are commonly eaten after being cooked in different manners. Plant parts that are used as quelites are young leaves and stems, sprouts, petioles, seedlings, flowers, or complete plants without roots.